So Iran is in a state of mourning as it is gearing up to lay its supreme leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei to rest on Thursday. But 24 hours ahead of Ali Khamenei's burial, Washington and Tehran have traded fire once again. The Iranian state media has said that at least about 8 members of the Iranian army have been killed in the US attacks on southern parts of Iran early on Wednesday. And according to the Iranian state media, the victims belong to the Air Force, the Navy, and they were killed during these American bombings on Bandar Abbas and also on the city of Bushehr. The US launched a new wave of strikes against Iran. The US CENTCOM said that it hit as many as about 80 Iranian targets, including drone launch facilities, air defense systems, and anti-ship cruise missiles. Now, Donald Trump, who declared that the ceasefire is over, has again warned of more strikes on Iran tonight. But this time, the strikes are going to be different. Washington calls it a punishment to Iran's latest attacks on commercial vessels transiting the Strait of Hormuz. Now, explosions were heard in Iran's main oil hub on the Karg Island, on the Keshem Island, and also in the southern port cities of Sirik and Bandar Abbas. The Keshem Island is the largest island in the Persian Gulf, located just off Iran's southern coast. It is heavily fortified with underground missile silos, fast-track boats, and naval bases. Now, the Trump administration has revoked oil sanctions waiver with immediate effect, and that has allowed for the purchase of the Iranian energy without attracting US sanctions. Tensions have escalated in West Asia 23 days after both sides signed an MOU formalizing a truce. And global stock markets have crashed and oil prices have surged, and Iran has warned that it will deliver a crushing response to the US strikes. A short time later, air raid sirens were activated across both Bahrain and Kuwait, accompanied by simultaneous electrical grid outages. This even as an intense exchange of military strikes has continued between the United States and Iran. Now, the IRGC says that it has struck as many as about 85 US military sites across Bahrain and Kuwait, including Ali Al Salam Air Base in Kuwait and the 5th Naval Fleet's headquarters in Salman Port in Bahrain. Iran has warned of more attacks if Washington repeats its strikes on Tehran. Now, the fresh round of strikes took place as Trump and the NATO leaders have huddled for high-stakes NATO summit in Turkey, and the American president has lashed out at Iran, calling it stupid, cuckoo, and all kinds of words that he could come up with. Now, Trump, remember, has hardened his stance on denuclearization of Iran. Listen in.
But they launched a couple of drones and one rocket, one missile, and at ships, because they were in the strait, which they have every right to be. And so we hit them very hard last night, very, very hard. Probably hit them hard again tonight. I'll give them a little warning, we're going to hit them hard tonight. But we'll see how it all works out. No, I'm not happy with them, you know.
While Trump was sitting in Ankara, 200 kilometers away in Tehran, Iranian top negotiator and parliamentary speaker Mohammad Bagher Ghalibaf used the same tone and tenor to hit back at Washington. He said that the US had violated the ceasefire terms several times. Ghalibaf further asserted that the era of American bullying and extortion is over. He also vowed that Iran is not going to back down, come what may. And the renewed strikes between US and Iran have come at a time when millions are attending Khamenei's funeral procession, the largest funeral gathering in history. Now, the week-long funeral ceremonies began with the body lying in state at Tehran's Grand Musalla Mosque. On Monday, a 12-hour, 10-kilometer procession cut through central Tehran, moving past the landmark Inqilab Square and Azadi. The procession moved from Tehran to the holy city of Qom on Tuesday, and it crossed international borders into Iraq, drawing thousands upon thousands to the Shia holy shrine cities of Najaf and Karbala. Najaf is the third holiest site in Shia Islam after Mecca and Medina. The final leg of the historic procession concludes in the northeastern part of Iran on Thursday. Now, Khamenei is scheduled for burial at the Imam Reza Shrine in his hometown of Mashhad in eastern Iran.